Welcome back to the second half here of the PL2 Grand Final. Sutherland and Briars locked at 1-1. We've got some highlights from the first half. Let's see how that half panned out.
That was the first save that Borg had to make. Here's the lead up on a shot near side. Didn't score, but then scored shortly thereafter.
Alan sideline before stats.
Here's the goal.
Sideline. That was a great goal there from Sutherland.
Yeah, he got all of it. He had to. Good turn, good feed, and good finish.
Okay, thank you, and welcome back to the second half of the Premier League 2 encounter. 1-1 here, still locked. Briars came out very hard, very intentful, but Sutherland came over the top and were just very structured in their whole game plan. So 1-0, Sutherland scored first, Briars scoring second with 2 minutes to go in the game. It's going to be very attacking second half. Sutherland were looking just to press more, to get the ball moving a lot quicker and get around it. Briars, on the other hand, were looking to really get in front of their players and make defence a real key to their premiership hopes. So 35 minutes here to go, and the better side on the day is going to win this. So let's see how we go. Back to you guys.
Thanks for that, Dan. Second half underway.
Yeah, a little surprised with Dan's comments about what the coaches are sort of talking about. I thought actually if any side, Briars may want to press a little bit more. I don't think the lines defensively have been good enough to prevent them once they do work the ball comfortably coming out of the back, Sutherland. And I just think they need to limit the amount of time that a couple of their key players, Sutherland's key players, have on the ball.
Early stages here in the second half. Lee Brady looked like he not particularly happy with the decision. He thought he was off one-on-one with the keeper. Got called back. Interesting, Briars have got Adam Bannister back at fullback at the start of the second half. Pushed him higher in that first half, at the end of that first half, as they were trying to work their way back into the match. Good steal from Brady. Not a lot of options ahead of him. And then the free hit. And a corner given.
I think that's a fair call. He was down on one leg. I think you'll see that he dropped down onto one leg. The ball hit the leg. I think if you make yourself larger like that, as you can see here, that's a fair call. A little bit sloppy there from O'Sullivan.
Yeah, he didn't really need to do that because Brady didn't have any real options there. Even if you got past O'Sullivan, there were another two defenders there he would have had to get through. So not the start of the second half Sutherland would have been hoping for, and giving Briars an opportunity to take a lead.
The corners are normally quite slick, so it'll be interesting to see how they do here and normally get the players into the right areas.
Chris Coombs waiting for the ball. There's a trap. Down low. An opportunity. Great save, Andrew Borg.
It's hit the postie by the look of it. So he's called a stroke. Must have hit the postie.
Check the replay. That was off a stick.
Yeah, it's hit the postie.
Yeah, it's interesting call with the stroke because it looked like Borg got in behind the postie. I think unlucky there for Max Hughes. Goalkeeper. Chance for him now to keep his team level.
Yeah, just the one thing there that led to it, and we'll watch this stroke first.
Puts Briars in the lead. Ball taken Adam Bannister. Just that experience in a grand final you want.
I mean, he didn't get a heap of it, but you can't put it any better than that. It's right in the bottom corner, just at the right height, above the kicker as he went down. And unfortunately for Max Hughes, couldn't get there. We were just talking about how slick their corners were. Although it wasn't a great flick, it's just the positions that the Briars rebounders got to, and Ruben Corey there, who created the corner stroke, got into a really good spot for it as they break again.
And it's gone. No, it's called it for dangerous. That initial shot wasn't on target. Correct call there by Zeke.
Yeah, correct call, but still one of those little half chances there for Briars, and all of a sudden the game's suddenly taking a little bit of a turn after Sutherland had dominated so much early.
That's right, spring in their step for Briars, and that goal, see how Sutherland can come back. Certainly wouldn't have been expecting to go behind so early in the second half. Nice interplay with Sutherland forwards.
He's generally in a good spot as a sweeper there, Bannister, so it's probably a good move with Blake Durant's back into centre half. Maybe not quite as creative as Bannister, but he'll hold that middle quite well. You can see him here telling the free defender to pick up the inside forward so he can release out. And this is what we were talking about in the first half. Ruben Corey, the centre forward for Briars, is getting to a position where Shane Smith can't really get an easy ball, and they have to play short, which almost led to the turnover. Play short side.
Nathan Woolner with a nice interception. Step in front of his player. Blake Durant's important tackle. Just umpires disagreeing on the call. We'll just stop the clock for a moment. Just discuss who's going to get the free hit. Each umpire with a different opinion. Zeke's calling the free hit for Briars. Andrew Brown's decision is the one they'll go with for Sutherland. Nice turn there from Christian Halliard.
It's well done there. That's what we were talking about with Blake Durant, just getting into the right areas as the centre half there as they come at them. Just trying to show a little bit of patience on the ball.
So Nick Candido then did some good work holding on possession well for Briars. The first 5 minutes of the second half, an eventful one. Briars earning a corner and then the stroke to take the lead, 2-1. Crowd continues to build here. The grandstand wear in is really starting to fill up. Main game due to start at 6 p.m. Smith on the ball. Makes a good pass as he has most of the game. Wasn't a teammate right able to hang on to that. Number 8, Ralph Prince, made good space. Good pressure reliever with the overhead. Bannister. Briars looking to take control here, definitely no need to rush.
Yeah, just kept that space free there on the outside pocket. Was waiting for someone to make some movement in there earlier, but probably worked out well.
Durant's looking for options.
I think that's a good idea as well. Roll off the ball, get that defensive group for Sutho moving. Like that. Whilst the last pass didn't hit its target, I think that their defensive group's quite well structured, so you need to get them shifting there on the edge of the circle, try and open up a space for that ball to be fed through.
Free hit for Briars. Shout out again, Lee Munro and Richard Nutt. Watching us on Facebook Live. Keep your comments coming, everyone. We'd like to know where you are around the world watching this coverage. Shane Smith again. Just a bit of a bouncy pass. Well controlled.
He just doesn't seem to make many errors there. He's certainly the key to the Sutherland side coming out at the back. Interesting just watching the differences as they do come out of the back. Sutherland tend to be playing, they're probably outside guys start a little bit wider. Briars guys start, Briars strikers tend to start a little bit narrower and try and lead to the space. Both teams creating stretch one way or the other. It's just how they deem most appropriate. Good skills.
Nice angle running from Briars. It's interesting this half. You'd have to say Briars definitely looked the sharper of the two teams, whereas in the first half Sutherland was basically doing everything correct. Lots of possession, lots of good crisp passing. That final pass hasn't been sticking. Oh, fantastic save. It's a great lead. Lee Brady leading through with a great deflection. Drew a great save from Max Hughes. You can see here the ball's come screaming in.
Oh, great reflex save there.
Lee's right head over the ball. Great deflection. Max Hughes with a fantastic save, keeping the score at 2-1. You see Lee Brady shaking his head. Can't believe how that was saved, how he didn't get another goal for the season. Here's a chance for him again, though.
Great turnover.
A chance. There's a touch, and it's gone wide, both players.
He was aiming to shoot there, I think, rather than pass, but...
Lee's down, Lee's clutching his head. I think when you can see here on the replay, they've gone sliding, both sliding into the goal. I think he's, oh, there you go, the keeper's stick has just collected Lee on the right ear. He's fine. Gives his head a bit of a shake. Another great opportunity for Briars to extend their lead. What does Sutherland need to do here to get themselves back in the game? It just seems that they've lost all the composure they had from that first half. They seem to have left in the dugout.
Yeah, it's an interesting one because they're getting caught a little bit at the back. You know, I mean, the last couple of chances that Briars have created have just come from poor turnovers more than anything else. So they just need to make sure they limit those, obviously. I still think they've got opportunity to open up. As I say that, Briars come in and miss near side. You probably had time to trap and shoot though. That said, I still think Sutherland are going to create some opportunities. I'm not sure that Briars are not going to leak some chances, but at the moment, you definitely say the flow is suddenly changed a full 180 degrees, and even then we see Shane Smith make probably the first pass he's thrown today that hasn't actually hit a target. So just some cracks appearing. Maybe the younger side, the youth, starting to feel the pressure a little bit more. The Briars side with the older heads are just sort of maintaining the possession and composure.
I think there might be a bit more hunger too, just overall from the Briars guys. We heard Lee telling us before the game the number of times they've made the preliminary final in the last couple of years, having managed to get through to the grand final. So these guys have been together for a fair time, and I'm pretty sure they'd want to, given it's their first chance in the grand final for a while, they want to make sure they make the most of it.
Yeah.
There's a chance now for Sutherland. And 4 Briars players get
4
back.
guys there, centre half, got into that area to be that central defender sweeper sort of role. Yeah, that said, I mean, Sutherland, I think from memory, lost to Sydney Uni in the grand final last year, so there'd be a few guys hurting from that as well.
Saw a good interception there from Pat Everett from Sutherland, showing the desperation really of a grand final.
Catch up there, I think.
That was one hand, one bounce to hit the top of the dugout. It's a smart option again from Blake. I think this is where, with the 2 goal to 1 lead, I guess you'll see Bannister and Durant's on the ball a lot. Just controlling the play.
Could be in trouble there.
Yeah, will be. Briars going to be down to 10.
Pretty sloppy. I mean, he knew he had to break the play down, and it could be what Sutherland need here, just to create the overlap, playing to the outside. We were talking about that earlier, how they play a little bit more width to start with. Good stretch.
Lane Carr with a good interception. Sutherland coming straight back. Here we go in the circle. Chance. Oh, it's gone through.
Now that's a bad miss, unfortunately, for Borg. I think he'll admit that himself. That's not one he should have let through.
It's just that bouncing pass came through. And he was a bit unsighted because he had the shot came in and scored there from Ralph Prince, but he also had Blake Sharp standing in front of him. And I think that just put him off.
Yeah, I think you're right. Sort of you look at the replay, when the replay there, he was definitely in an unusual position. He was almost down on all fours. I think he'd probably look back on that. He's just sort of been not sure what decision he was going to make, and unfortunately he's made the wrong one.
It looked like he was sort of getting ready for that number 13, Blake Sharp, to actually make the trap so he could quickly get down to smother it. But in the end, the pass sort of went to his left side. The shot went to his left side and just caught him wrong-footed. So with 20 minutes to go, the score's now locked together again at 2 goals apiece, with that goal coming in from Ralph Prince for Sutherland.
Well, I expect the speed of the game to be up from here, unlike the last 2 games where it dropped away. The temperature's dropped off, sort of heading towards the evening. The lights are on. I expect both these sides to keep the tempo up from here on in for the last 20.
Interesting also that goal came whilst Briars were down to 10 men, so Sutherland making good use of their extra player. Here comes Smith again, looking for the reverse stick pass. Just got too far underneath that. Well, it was a wedge when he needed the driver. Great pass, put Sutherland deep into attack. Great defence, Bannister. Read all the moves, held his ground, put in a great tackle, puts his team back into attack.
He did. The Sutherland crowd on that far side were not happy with the decision. They all went up. But you see on the replay there, I think he got the ball first. So.
Here's a familiar name for people watching from Hawaii, Stuart Kazar.
Former Briars goalkeeper. Might be.
Probably wouldn't be happy with what
No, I
Borgie
think
just
he'll be
did
on
there.
the phone to Borgie after that little one he conceded.
Briars back to their full complement.
He needs to be a little bit more careful there himself, and he went to ground early again. You can see the one corner in that area. We don't want to give Briars another one. Like I said, they're quite slick in terms of the areas that they got to.
Corey there searching for a ball into the circle. Another long corner. Chance for Briars. Corey with the spin, well defended.
And you can break here. This is not the quickest of guys. An opportunity, you've got to go to the left. Oh, that is great defence.
Great take on board. Comes round. Makes up for his error, covers that post.
Covered that, but the defensive work by the actual Briars back group was fantastic.
Time's off here whilst the ball's gone out.
At the same time,
Check the through plate.
Borg's been probably thinking about the Panthers this evening as his favourite NRL side and how they're going to perform against the Raiders.
Chance again for Sutherland. Great save from Borg.
It's better. Probably Bannister maybe got to an area where he will see on the replay for a stick obstruction or a stick check.
Yeah, I think Borg made the first save. When it's come back, we'll find a stick obstruction in here.
Maybe a little bump.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. It's a tough call in a grand final.
Yeah,
but
Brendan Sharp looked to be bumped off the ball, but I guess the defender's scrapping for the ball, that picking up the rebound.
50, yeah, 50-50 opportunity almost there.
Chance for Sutherland to regain the lead. Just coming up to 16 minutes left in the game. And we're out. Well done by the runner. Maybe another corner.
Yeah, it's well composed by the trapper there. Well run down. Well composed just to put it back on the foot. Doesn't really look like they're going to create a different style of corner here. It's set up the same way. I wonder if he'll flick again.
There's a left slip.
Prove me wrong, he slipped it, but Briars' defence moved well to it.
Good defence from Briars, but ball came out a bit too slow. Another chance for Sutherland. That's a face of goal. Time's out again there. Goals have been knocked out of place.
So it was a lucky touch in behind here.
Yeah, that touch
He's
there.
trying to clear it and hit it straight to the path of the Sutho attacker.
Brendan Sharp thought he thought all his Christmases had come at once there, but the ball came out in a funny angle. He didn't really have much time to steady himself for that shot. Still got time called out here. Umpire just getting the goals back into place.
And that all came from a turnover in the midfield. I think it was trained for Briars, just basically a little bit of a turnover coming forward, and so they were able to respond. So we've seen probably a couple of turnovers coming out of the back from both sides, and they've led to good opportunities and a couple of goals.
It looks like Sutherland have clawed their way back into the game, not just on the scoreboard. It seemed to be putting a lot more pressure now, exerting more pressure on Briars than they were early on in the game.
That's a good ball.
Lee Brady now with a chance. That's good play. Plenty of blue shirts back there in defence.
It's really well played there by both Adam Bannister, Lee Brady. That Briars guys I was sort of watching played their strikers very high. They created space, able to throw it towards both Jake Imler and Lee Brady on the lead. Lee picked it up in behind, so the defender wasn't sure to pick up. Again, just that last pass was just lacking from one of the Briars attackers. option to transfer here.
That's a good option. Not the best option.
Yeah, I'm not sure you're going to get through Sean Smith.
They didn't have any free plays. The defence is set quite well. Smith takes off in a 50-yard run.
Winston might look for the 45 degrees here. Oh, and he does. And that's why.
And Jake Ema needs to take that quickly. Oh,
Take it back a metre.
he had both those players inside the required 5. Would have been a corner. Good defence again of the boys in blue. Coming up to 12 minutes to go in this grand final. Score still locked at 2 apiece.
It's a great
Nice
trap
pass.
there by Ruben.
Looking to sneak the pass in. Southern defender just lost his footing. With another chance. Great save. Oh, down the foot.
Jeez, that's close.
I tell you, he's dragged his foot out there.
He's close to a stroke, I would say. I reckon he's deliberately thrown his leg out there. We'll see on the replay.
It's David Hindmarsh. You just you can see the shot that came through. A great deflection from Brady into the keeper's helmet.
Oh, that's a stroke.
And Hindmarsh,
That is a stroke.
I think Zeke Newman being very generous, benefit of the doubt on the lazy foot there from Hindmarsh, but from the replay, you can see he certainly didn't get his foot out of the way, did he?
I think well, to me, he's deliberately thrown his foot out, and he's the last line. I mean, the ball bounces in behind there. It's one-on-one with the goalkeeper. I just think it's a big call in a grand final, a tough call, but on that, to me, that's a stroke. It's a deliberate infringement inside the circle. He deliberately threw his foot out.
Let's see if Briars can capitalise from the corner. And they do.
Doesn't matter anyway.
Fantastic flick there. And number 10, Lane Carr, coming up from defence to put his team in the lead with 11 to go. Well-placed corner.
I said they've been slick. Is that their second penalty corner, I think, for Briars? Yeah, second penalty corner, and they've basically had a penalty stroke from one that they scored off, and then a goal that they've scored off. So their PCs have been very good so far.
There's a chance for Lee Brady. No, that's right. They're effectively 2 for 2 for their corners. So just coming up with 10 minutes to go. Briars with a slender lead. Dan Morrison on the sideline. What do you got for us?
Thanks, guys. Yeah, it's a very tense game down here just at the sidelines. There's plenty of chat from both sides. Sutherland are looking to press a bit high now to try and relieve that ball, and Briars now are just playing possession. Lane Carr's taken it upon himself. He's been in the attacking 25, and he's making last-ditch tackles on the defensive 25. So here we go, a chance. Put that wide lead, Brady. But yes, I think Sutherland can still have a real crack at this. Briars are leading 3-2, but they're not the minor premiers for no reason, and we'll see how they go with the remaining 10 minutes. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Dan. Yep, just saw another opportunity for Lee Brady. Certainly causing havoc for Briars up in attack. He's been a handful for Sutherland.
Yeah, the older heads in the front group for the Briars side have been very good. Ruben Corey's been strong. Lee Brady's been strong. And then probably looking through the core with Blake Durant's, Adam Bannister both been strong, and Lane Carr's been quite good there at the back.
So the desperation there from Lee coming back to make that tackle. That was a crucial intercept at the back. Big swing on that tackle. Got away with it. Got enough ball. Chance for Sutherland.
He's got a nice little slider past Shane Smith, which is what he threw there.
This is where we'll see the experience again for the guys like Blake Durrance and Adam Bannister for Briars. We'll try and use every second of the clock.
He's got good skill there. Oscar Cui, I guess it would be.
No, I think he's Belgian.
Belgian.
We got the comment, I think it was his mum on Facebook, gave us a shout out.
Very sharp on ball. Change every time he gets the ball midfield and goes forward. See Briars with numbers back here, yet still almost found the one Sutherland player. There was 6 or 7 back for Briars, 1 Sutherland player forward, and they almost found the ball through into there.
There's a couple of very happy Briars fans on Facebook commenting. Andrea Castriano, Amanda Straw. Shout out to Matt Sparling. Seven minutes to go in this PL2 Grand Final. Briars holding on to a 3-2 lead against Sutherland. That's a great pass. Oh,
Still going to get it.
still on 2 on 1.
Kicks out. Well cleaned up. He made the decision to go. It was good. Again, good touch from Ruben to eliminate that first man. Half a metre, not even that. Probably 15 centimetres too far for Oscar there. Position of Lane Carr on that turnover was quite strong as the free defender. He's getting into a nice solid position there, not allowing that simple ball through on the 45 from Sutherland.
Good pressure from Southern defenders to force a turnover. Over just on halfway there on the right side of the pitch. Good trap. Briars defenders will be extra careful now not to give away any silly corners in this final 6 minutes.
Good tackle there initially from Ian McLean. Almost gave it back, just sort of once he made the tackle, maybe a little bit loose on the ball. Chance here and go forward.
It's good skill. Here's a shot. Oh. Got under a bit too much.
It was good skill, good elimination back on the inside. Again, we're sort of seeing when they move it back and they target that edge of the circle coming through and getting someone deep so that that defender's in 2 minds, they are creating opportunities.
Well, plenty of Briars defenders back there. I'm guessing they'll probably have Blake playing a lot deeper in these final 5 minutes. And again, we'll look to see if the goalkeeper gets replaced by a field player in the last few minutes by Sutherland, needing to score a goal. Everyone working back for Briars.
It's a good angle run there by Hindmarsh. Coming through on that 45.
The pass just got away from Sutherland. There's a chance here if he can release this early down the left.
Just held it too long there. Benefit is they are up by 1, I guess, so they've maintained possession.
They're going to try and work the clock down as best they can. Just got to be looking for passes stick to stick.
There's no rush to move this ball forward.
There's a turnover, Southern needed. Well done there, Nick Candido, work back. Close the play down. Here's a chance. He's got inside his defender. Timely stick there. Lane Carr.
He's been solid defensively. It was a good lead, good pickup, but the pass just looked a little weak. I think he just had to make sure that ball made its way through. I've got a message here on Facebook from Kelly White, Hockey-roo, over in Perth. She's watching the game with Josh Miller, one of the best blokes I've coached. Absolutely fantastic player. He's also played for the Briars and future hubby. She's calm Briars. She's hoping that the score stays as it does for the next 2.5 minutes.
Thanks, Kelly. Hopefully lots of people in Perth watching the coverage. Coming up to 2 minutes to go. Still 3 goals to 2.
They pulled James O'Sullivan off a minute ago, the defender for Sutherland. He stayed on the sideline, so I'm just wondering whether he's trying to get the goalkeeper off or what the scenario is here. And probably need to get him off. There's 2 minutes to go. They're going to need to pull him now.
Chance for Briars. No real option here. They're not throwing too many guys forward. Plenty of blue shirts back. Oscar did well to hold the ball up.
He's throwing a smock on now. Chance here. Chance.
Interception. Plenty of players back for Briars.
That's a great tackle. He did have to drive that baseline, but that is a fantastic tackle there by Veronica.
Did well, just come in, all ball, got it nice and cleanly.
Here we go, I'm making the sub now.
So the time's gone off there just as they're changing the goalkeeper. They got the kicking back.
Need to push high here, Sutherland.
Bit of space down the left. There's a chance. It's a free hit for Briars.
Take their time taking this.
We're into the final minute, 45 seconds to go.
It goes over and long and out, which is probably not a bad thing.
38 seconds for Sutherland. Extra player on the pitch, goalie's been dragged. Final chance, this is it for Sutherland. Searching ball, this is where Briars has got to dump it up the other end. They've done it successfully.
It's a great play there, Blake Durance again, just getting back in, making sure he cut off that. They're looking for the hot line, just playing that ball straight in if they can. He's doing well to cut it off.
Down to the last 10 seconds. Need to get the ball up the other end. They've crossed. 5 seconds. Final hit into the circle. Oh, is it a foot? And it's a foot. No,
yes, it is.
It's called a foot.
It's called a foot.
The Briars guys don't realise.
Briars guys think the game's over.
They've called the foot. Zeke Newman has called it. The disengaged umpire's called it.
We need to see this because they really don't believe it is. Here we go. Oh, I'm not sure. I don't know. Can you tell there's all? I'm not sure.
Let's just have a look. We're not sure from the replay. It was hard to see with the pace of that ball whether or not it did hit Adam Bannister's foot. They were pretty certain that it was a all stick.
Yeah, the Briars guys weren't happy, but
it's just hard to see.
I think may have clipped it, but it's just impossible to tell really on that view.
Well, Zeke Newman had a good clear view as a disengaged umpire. It was his signal.
It was. The Briars guys definitely weren't happy. But,
so here we go with the grandstand finish. Here goes Sutherland to put this into extra time. Here comes a push. And it's gone wide. Long corner, game's over. And Briars are the premiers for the Premier League Division 2 for 2016. Fantastic game, great finish. What do you make of that?
Yeah, fantastic game, and the speed of the game was obviously a big step up from the match before. Sutherland will be disappointed. They certainly had their opportunities. First half dominated, second half Briars certainly came back, but there were still chances both ways. And perhaps at the end of the day, the older heads just made the difference. They were very strong when Sutherland did counter and cutting off that central line, and they were able to press a little bit more in the second half to put some more pressure on the Sutherland back group as they came out.
Well, we'll go down to Dan shortly with an interview with the winning captain. We want to have a look at some highlights from the second half. Let's check them out.
There's the stroke, which he slotted nicely into the bottom corner. There's the one where a couple of boys slammed into the back.
Crowd catch.
There's the goal that Borgie won't care now, but you'll look back on that one and think, thank God it finished 3-2. And that one.
It's the Borgie highlights reel. We can joke about it now. And in fact, we should bring him up here later to show it.
Yeah, I think we'll. I'm just recording this on my phone to show him next time I catch up with him.
I think he owns Lane Carr a beer. And here's that corner at the end of the match too.
They won't care now because they're the premiers, so it doesn't matter how many errors they made.
I can see Blake Durant's heading over for an interview. We'll just wait till we've got everyone on board. Okay, let's throw. So Dan's down with Blake Durant's the Briars captain. Over to you, Dan.
Here we are with Blake Durant's, the second grade premiership captain. Well, obviously he ran down the final corner there. You must be ecstatic.
Yeah, mate. That was one of the best games I've played in a while. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. Tough, hard game.
Yeah, obviously Sutherland, a very tough side. They came through minor premiers. Very good year. A lot of goals on the board, but you seem to manage that pretty well today.
Yeah, we did. We were a little bit scratchy and scrappy, but managed to get a couple of goals and then hold them out because they finished pretty strongly. So, yeah, great match.
Very good performance, full of heart, full of praise for you guys. You did very well, and congratulations on the performance.
Thanks. Cheers. Excellent.
Thanks, Dan. So you can tell Blake extremely pleased having won. I said that group's been together for a long time. A very well-deserved victory. Let's have a look at some stats here, just as we're waiting for presentations. Well, you don't get much more even than that, do you? Both teams 13 shots on goal, 3 penalty corners each. Just Briars with that extra goal. So goal scorers Darren Allsop, Adam Bannister and Lane Carr, and Brendan Sharp and Ralph Prince for Sutherland. But an amazingly close game. And hopefully the next game coming up, which will kick off in about half an hour at 6 p.m, we'll get another exciting close game on that.
Yeah, obviously the stats show absolutely nothing between the two sides. Just Briars took that extra opportunity, and Sutho just weren't able to convert one of theirs.
Okay, looks like there'll be a bit of a delay on the presentations here, so we might take the opportunity to have a bit of a break before the PL1 game grand final starts. So I hope we enjoyed that second grade grand final. Tune back in about half an hour at 6 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time for the grand final, which will be between Moorebank, Liverpool and Sutherland. Hope you enjoyed the coverage here, and we'll see you again shortly.